Good evening, all. It's at Sports World and talkSPORT. He's Dean Saunders. I'm Jason Kelly. Still to come. We look ahead to what's going to be a massive FA Cup weekend here at talkSPORT. First off, let's go back to the Emirates. Mikel Arteta, Arsenal manager, alongside talkSPORT's Alex Crook.
Mikel, a really tight game between two top sides. How do you feel about the 0-0 draw?
Well, obviously disappointed because we wanted to win it and we did everything in the preparation to try to do it. I think in the first half we were much closer to that than in the second half because we created some big situation, big positions in great spaces, and when you get to that against these kind of teams, you have to put that away. And we didn't, and in the second half we were very imprecise with the ball in many situations, very unusual for us. So then you are not together, you cannot really press them because they have 5 midfielders, 6 midfielders, everybody starts to draw very far from the structure, and they create possession without any real threat because I don't think we concede a single shot. But if you cannot win it at the end, we have to take the point. I think the players deserve a massive credit and praise for what they've done in this Christmas period in those 6 matches, and we come out of that in a really strong position.
I was going to say, ultimately, you're 6 points clear at the top of the table. You would have taken that, presumably, going into this busy time of the season.
Because we know how this can change, and we've seen any other teams as well, how difficult it is to win when you play in every 2.5 days in this context, and we've done really, really well. We want to be better, for sure, and there are things that we can do and still learn from it, and we will do that, and now a change of competition, and let's go again.
Why do you think you struggled to create opportunities in the second half in particular? Was that about how well Liverpool defended, or were you just slightly out of your rhythm tonight?
First of all, because they are a really good side. Obviously, they are the champions, so huge respect for that, and you have to give them that. And then because I think we were very poor, especially in the first 4 or 5 passes, to create the right overloads and the right spaces to hurt them like we've done in the first half.
There was a big incident at the end of the game where Conor Bradley has gone off on a stretcher. TV replays seem to show Gabriel Martinelli threw the ball at him as he was on the floor and then rolled him off the pitch. Do you have a view on that?
No, I haven't seen him, but knowing Gabby, I'm sure there is no intent. I hope Conor is well and nothing happened there.
Mikel Arteta there, the Arsenal manager, with Alex Crook reflecting on that. Dino, I think both managers were pretty honest about it. You know, Mikel Arteta could have won it, could have lost it, you know, if they go out their shape and go chasing a game. And that's the fear. Like I said, the fact that City are stumbling and tripping allowed Arsenal to be a little bit more measured tonight. And like I said, I think it's a good point for both, actually.
Yeah, not too much damage done for both teams. No. Liverpool 9 games without losing. You can see nobody on the bench really that can really transform the game. No strikers, amazingly, when they were queuing up 3 months ago to get a game. No Ekitike, no Isak, no Salah. And they've gone to Arsenal, and before the game they would have took a 0-0.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yep. The
only thing I'd say, although they've gone 9 games without winning, I think it's dawning on us, and I hope it turns out to be wrong, that the players that have come in are not as good as the ones that have left. And there's too many players left the club who could do a job. You know, you win the title, not many teams win the title and let 8 players go. And I'll name them for you, who would come into the team, either start or do a job in the Champions League, or they could fill in for a couple of games and wouldn't let you down, wouldn't cost you the game. Tsimikas, Quansah, Trent, Harvey Elliott.
He might come back, by the way.
Not this season, is it? He's got to go somewhere.
Well, he could go back to Liverpool, couldn't he? But he'd probably end up going.
Yeah, that's a strange one. You've got, unfortunately, Jota. We know the reasons behind that. Nunez, Diaz, and Andy Robertson's not playing. When you think about it, all them players,
it's a huge amount of change.
They'd all play tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of change.
All of them would get a game tonight.
Yeah.
So they've gone. And Kelleher. So when he stepped in, he done a job.
The fact that you've got Isak and Ekitike's been good. All right, he has been very good. The fact that you've got the injury and Salah's away, any team is going to struggle with those 3 players missing.
Well, Diaz is better than Gakpo. Fact. Diaz goes round the outside of you. For me, Liverpool's problems from where they were. Salah don't get the ball. I know he's not played well himself. He's missing Trent's quarterback, range of disguised passing, which he would hit him from everywhere. Yeah. He'd also hit Diaz's chest from 60 yards away, diagonal, early. Van Dijk would hit Salah's chest with diagonals. When's the last time you've seen Van Dijk hitting a diagonal? Liverpool have turned into Man City and started playing total football without mixing it up. Liverpool used to mix it up to the point where people started calling them like direct. They would hit long passes which bypassed 6 players. And if it stuck on Salah's chest, which it did because Salah and Mane were strong and Diaz was strong, if it stuck, great. They're getting at the fullback. If the fullback gets there before him, they would pick the second ball up and then they've only got 4 players to score past instead of 11, the way they're playing now. So there's a bit of that going on, and I think they miss Trent. I think the 2 centre-halves miss Andy Robertson and Trent playing alongside him. That's why they don't look the same type of player as they were.
That's fair. Yeah.
I think in midfield, Harvey Elliott's infectious enthusiasm when he comes on used to make a difference. Nunez, believe it or not, we all thought there was a player in there. He could miss a chance when we thought there was no possible way of missing.
Yeah.
He come off the bench and scored more goals in the last 10 minutes in the Premier League than anybody last season. So he made an impact. So there's lots of reasons why, but I think the main one we're worrying about is the players who've come in are not as good as the ones who've left.
Any thoughts on that, Liverpool fans? 03717 223344. Continue taking your calls. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 0, and that Gabriel Martinelli incident. And we also want to ask, who do you consider a better manager right now, Slot or Mikel Arteta? It's a question. 03717 223344. This is the Sports Bar, live here on talkSPORT. Good evening. Thanks for your company. You are listening to the Sports Bar. I'm Jason Cunn alongside Liverpool legend Dean Saunders. Still to come, we'll look ahead to a big weekend of FA Cup action across the talkSPORT network, and we'll have the return of the midnight train in around about an hour's time. Get your calls in 03717 223344. No sport, no politics, nothing too serious, no religion, all of that. You know what to do. No calls, no train. First, though, we're taking your calls on tonight's game, and that Gabriel Martinelli incident. Let's remind ourselves how it sounded right here on talkSPORT.
No. What's he done there? He's hurt himself. I think he's hurt himself, Bradley. He's landed awkwardly and hurt himself. That's why he's just nudged that ball out of play.
Oh, who's doing that?
Martinelli's pushed him off the pitch.
I think you've got to be careful pushing someone off a pitch when you don't know how bad the injury is.
I'm still gobsmacked that Gabriel Martinelli wasn't sent off there. You drop a ball on an injured player and then you grab hold of him while he's on the ground and hoik him off the pitch. How is that not 2 yellow cards? What's Anthony Taylor scared of there? He's an injured player. It looked like a bad one as well. That's really shocking refereeing, and from Martinelli as well.
Yeah, Agent Danny Murphy summing up that incident towards the end of the game. My interpretation is that Martinelli's misread the situation incredibly badly, but you cannot be doing that. You cannot be touching a player who's down, injured, appalling in my opinion, classless as well. Let's go and speak to Theo, who's a Liverpool fan. Theo, good evening.
Hi, Theo.
You all right, guys? How you doing?
Very well, mate. Welcome to the show. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of comment first of all on how sort of weird it was how Liverpool played and how Arsenal played, and the fact that it was almost a bit of a role reversal to what happened earlier on in the season, and sort of Arsenal coming at Liverpool and Liverpool almost sitting a bit more deeper, whereas earlier on in the season it was the other way around. I thought Liverpool were much better than Arsenal for most of the game, particularly more in the second half when they were going at Arsenal. I thought Frimpong was looking sharp again, just sort of lacking in the final third and lacking the sort of final pass. And then the incident at the end, I thought Martinelli was very lucky. It was very good sportsmanship. And really in that scenario, the first thing he should have done is just checked whether Bradley was feeling okay rather than trying to get on with the game. And
do you know what, though, Theo? I don't know whether you heard your manager Arne Slot talk about that, and I think he summed it up very well. The problem you've got is that footballers now will go down feigning injury to waste time, because the time of the game, I can only imagine that Martinelli felt that Bradley was trying to time waste, right? And the football, they brought this on themselves because of the conduct of players. And I'm not going to point any finger. Every club does it, right? They manage the clock. The managers will also sometimes instruct them to do it if they're winning 1-0, maybe down 10 men, and they're trying to close the game out or get something out of it. So I can understand when Martinelli, or why Martinelli's done it, because he feels frustrated. However, you can't do that. And it looks worse, the optics of it, because it looks like Bradley's done a serious knee injury, and that. Get your hands off him. Do not be touching a player like that. Manhandling a player when he's down injured is unacceptable.
I'm sure he'll apologise, Jace.
Yeah,
when he realises what he's done.
He will feel terrible now. I'm hoping
he'll apologise.
Yeah,
I can understand why he's done it, but it's a red card, isn't it?
Well, the throwing the ball at him and then both throwing the ball, 2 yellows. He's a lucky boy to be on the pitch. Let's go and speak to Paul, a Liverpool fan. All right, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Paul, good evening.
Are you there?
P-Dog? Paul?
Hello, yeah, hello.
Yeah, you're through.
There you are, mate. You woken up. Having a little kip.
Oh, sorry, Jen.
That's all right, mate.
I have 3 points in relation to the Martinelli incident, and you people have obviously played the game at the highest level. Martinelli did 3 things. One was the foul. He then subsequently stands on him, he throws the ball at him, and then he pushes him. That's 4 things, actually. What I'm most disappointed about, from a Liverpool fan's perspective, is the players' reaction to it, Liverpool's players' reaction to it. Apart from Canati, he's the only person that gets involved. And I thought that showed a lot of lack of commitment, a lot of team ethic, and a lot of passion from Liverpool that I think has been evident throughout the season. I think Martinelli's behaviour is appalling. But I think Liverpool's team reaction should have been far greater than it was. And I think if you 2 gentlemen who've played the game at the highest level would have had a much more greater reaction from a teammate than Liverpool had.
But they did react.
McAllister and Slobbersley were on the scene. They did, in fairness to them too.
Yeah, and also what you don't want to get a red card. I don't any of those players were on yellow card. You don't want to pick up a second. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the reaction from Liverpool players was all right, actually. I thought they got round, tried to protect him, then Jesus has come in, then Alisson's come running 30 yards from his goal line. I kind of thought, actually, Liverpool's reaction was all right.
McAllister's on a yellow as well.
Yeah, you can't see that.
But he did go after him.
Yeah, no, they did.
Without actually putting their hands on him, which immediately would have led to a... I thought there was going to be a full brawl.
Well, it was on the... It teetered on that, didn't it? It looked like it might explode there. I thought Liverpool's... I thought it was all right, actually, their reaction, Liverpool.
Well, bear in mind, nobody knows how badly injured he is.
Yeah, you can't be dragging players off the field.
No, what I mean is...
Can't be doing that, mate.
If the Liverpool players knew how badly injured he was, I'm sure they would have gone absolutely berserk.
I thought their reaction was all right. Let's go and speak to Guna. Roberto has dialed 03717223344. Roberto, welcome to the show.
Hi, Roberto.
Hi there. Yeah, Arsenal fan. Yeah, fuming a little bit about Martinelli. But to be honest, but Dean, do you remember all that time ago with Paul Elliott with that tackle? So is that okay to slow?
Let's go and speak to Bubba. Let's go and speak to Sean, who's a Liverpool fan. 03717223344. Shawny.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, lads.
Hello, mate.
You all right?
Hello, mate.
Yeah. Have you got your seatbelts on? Because I'm strapped in here. Mate, I've had enough. Right, let's just say the first instance that Michael, who was on the first caller, saying that was a brilliant performance in the second half. Mate, that was at least you'd expect as a Liverpool Football Club. It was pathetic. I'm sick to seeing sideways passes at the start of the season. Yeah, we were conceding goals, but it was exciting to watch. We're not watching exciting football anymore. It's boring. The atmosphere at the crowd is diabolical at Anfield. It's diabolical. It's like they're falling asleep watching it. I want Arne Slot out my club right now. And Arnie, if you're listening to this, get out my club now. I'm sick to death of it. I thank you for what you did last year, but it was Arnie, it was Klopp. All he's coming. It's like one of you sitting back and letting Jason talk and going, yeah, I've done a great show there. No, it weren't your team. This is his team now, and it's terrible to watch. And you can say injuries and all that, yeah, mate, lads. But this was happening before. this was happening before Salah went to the AFCON. This was happening before Isak got injured, before Ekitike got injured. It was boring to watch.
Well, from my point of view, right, they are turning, the style is turning a bit into the way Man City play, where you never hit a ball from back to front. They just keep the ball and they play through the thirds. And
it's slow as well.
Yeah, it's slow as well.
There's a lack of tempo about
and you look at, I mean, Salah's not getting the ball. They miss Trent. Trent could hit Diaz's chest from 60 yards away 4 or 5 times a game. Van Dijk would hit diagonals 4 or 5 times a game. So I understand what you're saying. It's gone a bit slow. Isn't it amazing how one man, Pep Guardiola, because everybody copies him, has turned the Premier League football games into everybody in one half the pitch?
Yep. Well, I think Pep, actually, the reason that we're seeing slightly more Route 1 football and set pieces have become a huge thing. I think Pep is you've got to come up the way. Managers will find a way, a formula to try and get an advantage, because you're not going to outpass most of these top teams. So other teams, and I'm going to say Brentford, because they're the ones that leap off the page for me, set pieces, find a way. They find a way to circumnavigate what they can't match Man City because they're going to get outplayed. So they find another way.
Yeah, but have a think why teams are scoring from long throws and corners. Why? Why do you think that is?
Because there's absolute chaos in the box, and it's direct.
Do you know what I think it is? So you
just poo-pooed me.
Yeah. Well, I have. This is my opinion, which I think I'm right. Right. We've spent the last 10 years coaching kids, defenders in academies, how to play out from the back, and we've binned players out of academies for a different player who can play out from the back. The lad who can defend and head it, who's not very good on the ball, has been binned out of the academy. So now you've got back fours who can't head the ball out the box. They can't do the basics. So there's a weakness. It's part of the game, right? But they've got a weakness. So managers have gone, right, they've got 4 brilliant defenders, these teams, coming out, but they're not very good at, they can't deal with balls on top of them.
But Arsenal deal with it in both ends. Arsenal both deal with it defensively.
They're top of the league.
And
that's
Arsenal
why.
Score goals defensively with headers, But
that's why they're top of the league.
Yeah.
Liverpool have conceded so many goals because they've got 2 players who can head it, Van Dijk and Canate. Mm-hmm. So teams miss them out on purpose, and they pick Kirkes out, and they pick Conor Bradley out, or they pick out Frimpong, who they can't head it.
That's it. There you go.
So they throw the ball wherever.
And also, it's the second ball as well. It's not.
It's the second phase of it.
The second ball. That's the killer ball. The first one causes chaos. It's about winning the second ball. And if you don't win the second ball, then chaos does ensue.
How do you stop conceding goals from set plays then?
Well, stop giving throw-ins away. Keep the ball. Don't give. I mean, if Arsenal, one thing you do not want to do is give them a corner, right?
Yeah.
Don't want to give them corners. Try not to concede free kicks from wide areas and corners.
But you know what's going to happen, don't you? So the best way to stop it is to sign players who can head it.
So you think I might be out of a career now?
No. So what'll happen is there'll be a full circle, right? Of teams won't be as good at playing football, but they'll be more stronger.
What you want? Get a big old lump of a centre half.
No, I'm not on about going back to the old days, but you've got to have a mixture because, like you said, managers find a way. If we can't beat them on the ground, beat them through the air.
I think Pep's kind of brought it on himself a little because he was so good at doing. Then managers have gone. Arteta was the first I can remember that really utilised set pieces, and he set this standard. By the way, other teams have followed it. Arteta was ahead of the curve from set pieces.
Jason, we've been doing that for years.
No, we have, but in the modern game, set pieces have kind of been phased out a little bit. Certainly. Well, anyway, we'll have a chat. Any thoughts to that? 03717223344. You want to sit in the sports world and talkSPORT. With talkSPORT Bet, download the new talkSPORT Bet up today. 18+, begambleaware.org.